Hi, my name is Tom Haddigan, and I'm the author and creator of this new YouTube channel dedicated to Beatles musicology. I've titled this five-part program The Beatles Genius. Now, we've looked at episode 1 and we've started episode 2, so this is part 2 of Beatles Genius. So this is me on the right-hand side. So we were looking at a set of John Lennon's favourite songs, and I pointed out the obvious linguistic connection between Ask Me Why and Tell Me Why. So we'll look at some of the music theory behind Ask Me Why and Tell Me Why. Well, Tell Me Why uses a limited, conventional set of chords and an antiphonal vocal arrangement. However, the lyrics have a bracing, confrontational tone, and the song conjures a bluesy feeling without using the 12-bar form. These factors make the song characteristics of its time. The arrangement is notable for its antiphonal call and response vocal arrangement. Now, this song also uses a simple repetitive chord progression relying on 1, 4 and 5 chords of D major, with a particular emphasis on the flat 7 chord, which is C major, of course. This flat 7 chord is used to create a blues inflection without resorting to the traditional 12-bar form. The song's form is straightforward. Intro, refrain, verse, refrain, bridge, refrain, outro. Now these verses are in D major key, while the refrain and bridge shift to the relative minor, which is B minor. This creates a contrast that underscores the emotional tension in the lyrics. So that's Tell Me Why. Let's have a look at Lennon's other song, linguistically similar, Ask Me Why. Ask Me Why has a complicated form that can be considered a variation of the two-bridge model. The verse material has 3 variations, each serving a different purpose. Now, the initial verse is 8 measures long and features a pickup. It establishes the home key of E major. Verse variant 1 begins with I've been so sad. This adds an extra measure at the end. It features an augmented chord in the 4th measure, which ends with a 5 chord. The rhythm guitar triplets provide a continuity from the verses, while the syncopations in measures 7 and 8 provide contrast. Now, verse variant 2 begins with Ask Me Why, and this is much shorter than the other verses and provides a chance to power down. This is accomplished by a relatively flat melodic shape and weak chord progressions. This variant first appears after the first bridge. Now, the melodic material of Ask Me Why is largely derived from the pentatonic scale. This is similar to the melody in All I've Got to Do. Ask Me Why contains a higher than average number of appoggiaturas. Now we've looked at Lennon, let's have a look at McCartney. Now McCartney, in contrast to Lennon, often displayed a penchant for melody, lyrical beauty, and crafting songs with broader appeal. His songwriting often evoked a sense of romanticism, emotional depth, and universality, as we see clearly in his 2 most commercially successful songs, Michelle and Yesterday. These have become timeless standards covered by diverse artists across genres. Now, McCartney's focus on melody is evident in his admission that he struggled to write songs using a guitar due to his limited knowledge of chords, suggesting a greater emphasis on crafting memorable vocal lines. He often sought to create a music that connected with a wide audience, aiming for a sense of universality and emotional resonance. Now, McCartney's songwriting contributed greatly to the Beatles' enduring popularity, ensuring that their music transcended generational and cultural boundaries. Now, McCartney trusted his ear and instinct rather than formal music theory. So despite the complexity and depth of his music, McCartney can't read music or follow traditional music theory. He relies on what sounded good to him, ignoring conventional rules. It's interesting. There was a slightly ungenerous comment made by Quincy Jones about the Beatles, saying that they were, I can't quote the exact sentence he used, but he said they were bad musicians or they weren't good musicians. Of course, a word or two about Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones, as an 18-year-old, was playing trumpet in the Lionel Hampton band. You wouldn't actually have been able to get access to that amazing group of musicians without being extremely skilled as a trumpet player, which he was. He then organised his own jazz bands, etc. And he was touring Paris. And when he was in Paris, he had a chance to learn to do arranging and composition in a very professional way. Two of the world's leading arrangers and composers were there, and he learned how to arrange from these. So as a professional arranger, Quincy Jones has a right to his opinion. McCartney never ever gave the impression he was a genius at music or that he had these skills in musical theory. He never said that. So what did he do? Well, he had this idea for the song Penny Lane. Now, earlier he'd heard a piccolo trumpet in Brandenburg Concerto No. 2, and he knew it would be perfect for his song. So unable to write it down, he sang each note to George Martin, who transcribed it for him. So what does McCartney do then when he's writing? Well, he uses unconventional chord progressions and harmonies. Now, in Yesterday, the chords move in an unusual direction from the tonic F major with a 2-5-1 to D minor. This creates a unique and unexpected sound. Now, I've constructed 2 theory slides for you. They're not 13 and 14, they're 16 and 17. So, in Blackbird, he uses a drone effect with the open G string on the guitar, creating dissonances and harmonies that defy traditional rules. He combines a C major 7 and A7 with a C sharp bass, then D with a G, creating a clash between G and F sharp that somehow works. Now, these are the 2 slides I've prepared for you. My advice would be to just stop the video and just read through them and make some notes. This is slide 1. It's actually slide 16. And this is slide 2. It's actually slide 17. I hope you've enjoyed this part 2. If you've enjoyed it, please remember to like, subscribe, and please, please, please add a comment.